Here's one bag for you, one bag for you. It's funny because it's
Well,
such a high.
we've got you on record now. Available to the public that
Oh,
Bluebird Coffee Roastery will have some Sudan Remain next year.
what have I done?
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Coffee Made Me Do It podcast. My name is Dario Scilipoti. I will be hosting most, if not all, of these episodes. Today I'm joined by Diego Baraona, 5th generation coffee farmer from Los Pirineos in El Salvador. We're very fortunate to work with Diego and his amazing coffees at Bluebird Coffee Roastery. And as a young coffee professional, we had a lot to talk about. This episode was recorded from opposite ends of the world. The sound quality is not perfect, but we hope you enjoy the content. This is the recording of episode 2, so thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Diego. It's been a thrill to get to know you over the last few months since meeting in El Salvador. And mostly getting to know you means, reacting to each other's stories on Instagram more than anything else.
We're best friends on social media now also.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lazy slob while watching your Instagram stories and the amount of training you're doing, and it's just unreal.
I'm a bit insane, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see it's an addiction at this point, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's a healthy addiction.
A healthy addiction. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. So I reckon that's a good place for us to start. Actually, is
Yeah.
what sport are you into?
Wow, it's a good question. So, going back, I guess, in my life, my parents were always into me playing soccer, football. But then I discovered just running, like endurance running, when I was in high school, ninth grade. So I quit football and I started running. So I've been running for like 14 years now. And since then, I was like, this is my thing. Like, I just fell in love with running. The whole mental aspect is such a really individual sport. So I guess that I just like love like how like you can push yourself in such a individual goal. So it can be applied to a lot of things in life. And then when I came back to El Salvador 3 years ago, I joined a club, and they also biked and swam. So I was like really interested in like biking and swimming, like doing triathlon. So I gave it a try, and since the first time I was like hooked into it. Like just the whole lifestyle of swimming, biking, and running, going for a long rides on the weekend with teammates is such a nice time, and it's really healthy. So at the moment, I'm being swimming, biking, and running a lot.
I know you won a race recently,
Yeah,
a bit of a short course multi-sport race, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, it was a short course duathlon. We ran 5K, then we biked 20K, and then we ran 5K again. It was really hard, like really explosive from like start to finish. I was like, I even got a headache in the end of the race. I just gave it up.
Wow,
It was insane, but like it was so worth it. So worth it.
that's incredible. Are there any big goals on the horizon from a sports perspective? Are you training towards a particular big race at the moment?
Yeah, so I have two races right now coming up. So this weekend, I'm going to run the half marathon in Guatemala. I'm really excited because I've been really pushing myself training to hopefully to get a PB this weekend. It's a really flat course, like no hills, just flat. So it's supposed to be like a great race to like go and just crush it. So hopefully that's the case on Sunday. And then I'm training for my third half Ironman that's going to take place in Cartagena in December. So that's the second biggest goal of the year in sports wise.
Well, good luck for the weekend. I hope you crush your PB.
Hopefully.
You sound like a very passionate man, and it sounds like you've got more than one passion in life, and sports obviously one of those, and I know that coffee is definitely another.
Music is my third passion. I guess I call it the trifecta. I think I commented on your post like music and coffee are the perfect duo.
So I think we skipped ahead straight to sports, which is definitely a bit of a weird place for some of our listeners who are getting to meet you for the first time. But Diego, I mean, you grew up around specialty coffee producing royalty. When I first came into specialty coffee, one of the first producers I ever heard of was your dad and Los Pirineos through Tim Wenelbo. And I definitely have had the absolute desire to work with you guys from day one. But a long time before you started working in coffee, you obviously grew up around coffee. Can you give us a bit of your background, like a bit of a origin story of how you got into coffee, or your process of growing up around coffee and your perspective on it.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting, I guess my origin story is really interesting because honestly, I wasn't really, I grew up really into it, but like I was really working it like all my life. So my dad was like doing it like almost all day, every week. So I kind of like absorbed some things from him, but I was never really working with him or going to a farm that much. I probably went like once a month at most. So I wasn't really that much into the business and the farm. I knew at some point in my life I was going to take over, but I didn't know when. And I was like maybe in my late 30s. But then like it happened in my early 20s. So like 10 years earlier than I expected.
And you
So
weren't even living in the country at the time.
I was living in Spain, so I was doing my master's and working. It's funny, I used to be an SAP consultant, so I was in the tech industry, in the consulting business in this industry, so nothing to do with coffee. And then COVID came, my father passed away, and I was facing a really hard challenge. Like my life became into this came into like a wide intersection road. Like, should I just stay in Barcelona in Spain and just follow my new life, go for a different path, or go back home and take over the farm, the business, the export and all that. So it took me a while to decide because I mean, I was really young. I mean, I'm still young, I guess, but I was very young in the moment, and it was such like my life changed drastically, like in one day. I just didn't know what to do. I feel really stressed a little bit about it. So I took some time off to like think about it. Initially, I was like, I'll stay in Spain, yeah, whatever. But then I really thought about it. I was like, no, I need to come back. If I want to challenge, if I want to grow as a person and as a professional, I need to take challenges and step out of the comfort zone. So I decided to come back home, take over the farm. But like you said, growing up with my father, who he was a royalty in that way. I mean, he's a legend, a big legend still. I was really stressed. Like, how can I step into his shoes? Because he left a big legacy, and it's a big challenge. So I was like, I mean, I have nothing to lose, and I think he deserves. I mean, he built an empire, a big brand. So I feel like he deserves to me at least try it or give it a go. So I came back, and it's been a bit over 3 years now. So that's how I got into coffee.
Am I correct in saying that your dad wasn't the first generation to farm at Los Pirineos?
No, he was the fourth, and I'm the fifth. But I give him full credit that he turned the farm over. He just took took a look to like a global stage. He created a brand because before he took over in the early '90s, the farm was like a kind of abandoned or like only focused on commodity coffee, just growing whatever quality, just more like a quantity focused. In eight, he took like a big leap and started, I guess, more on the quality aspect with Pacamaras, Bourbons, Elites, and he went to fairs and then he started winning Cup Excellence, and that's how it all began.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So I think you're spot on. There was this huge opportunity, but also a responsibility in a way to the business that he had built and the name he'd built, and to continue
Yeah.
on. And but I think what I'm really enjoying about what you're doing as a relatively young business owner myself, I'm not as young as you, but I still regard myself as a youngster in business. I think it's a it's a risky time in the world to be in business for yourself. There's a lot of
Yeah.
difficulties to face, whether it's political, economic, whatever the case may be. But to have the courage to leave a very, very promising career in Barcelona and come back, I think it just gives so much. For me, it gives a lot of credibility to what you're doing. And as a lover of specialty coffee, I'm your biggest fan and
Oh,
very proud to be working with you. So well done,
oh,
man.
thank you, man. Yeah, like you said, like I mean, we both as business owners, we take a lot of risk, right? And right now, like everywhere you go, just chaos and like. But then, like, I just love like coffee, and I mean, I realize I have a big passion for it, and like a lot of love for it. So I don't care how hard it gets, how hard it is. I just enjoy being in the business, in the farm, and then I realized how important the farm is. Like in the end, I thought it was only me, my mother, and my sister. But at the end, I just like working it. I realized like a lot of families depend on it. The pickers, workers, the farm. Like it's such a a big income for a lot of people. So it's also like I get to support a lot of people, and if I don't do it, like it's a big toll, like a big hit on the local economy.
For a lot of coffee consumers, we hear a lot about like direct trade transparency, producers doing a great job at the farm level, which is producing quality in the cup. But for most people, there's a very big disconnect between the cup of coffee they're drinking and
Mm-hmm.
to them. When you say the work on the farm and the responsibility and towards all the families, what does farming coffee actually look like? What does your day look like? Monday to Friday, or are there different parts of the year where you focus on different things? What does it mean to be a coffee farmer today?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and in the last 3 years I've been trying to I guess like find, or like not find, but tell myself like what's my overall schedule. But it's been varying a lot in the last 3 years. But I noticed it's very seasonal. So right now I would say it's mostly like extra season. So I'll be spending a bit more time in the office right now, more like on the financial and the logistics side. But from December to like I would say late March, early April, I spend more days on the farm because it's harvest season. This year was really awesome because I got a lot of visits from buyers and clients. So that was really, really fun because I probably knew only like 5% of our customers. So it was really nice to host them again at the farm after like 3 years. And they knew my father. So it was like a really nice, I mean, I was really nervous. um, but it was really cool to reconnect the bridge again because I've been talking to people only via email. But it's so different to meet in person than the email. So I would say it's a very flexible, very dynamic schedule. It's based on season.
Your farm is famous for producing a few very prolific varietals. Obviously, Pacamara being a very proud one for the country, let
Yeah,
alone Los Pirineos. I remember hearing on a Tim Wendelbo podcast with you that the original trials with Pacamara plants were actually done on your farm. Is that correct?
yeah. So I learned this actually when I first got back to the farm 3 years ago. Apparently, the Pirineos was one of the first or the first testing ground for Pacamara. So Pacamara, the first trials were done in Los Pirineos. So I think that's why my dad's Instagram kind of was Pacamara coffee, and then he was known for Pacamara as well. Don Pacamara. Are you more of a Pacamara or a bourbon espresso base, or are they both good for espresso?
So we had a fun day a few weeks ago where we put both coffees on espresso next to each other,
Yeah,
and a lot of our customers got to taste both. To be honest with you, the Bourbon Elite for me was the favorite.
yeah,
Pacamaro was a close second. They're both exceptional coffees, and our roast style is very light. So, we were brewing essentially what a lot of people would call a filter roast as espresso, and the coffees were just incredible. I was very, very happy with them. Obviously, Bourbon Elite is a new concept to a lot of people. Is that a name given to the coffee by your family, or is it a specific strain of Bourbon?
that's the name my father get to our Bourbon because I was reading about it, and the Bourbon came many. I guess the Bourbon trees were probably one of the first coffee plants brought to the country. And the plants are the farm are the I call it the OG Bourbon. So the trees are it's funny, right? Not elite, the OG. They are probably like at least 80 years old or a bit more. So the trees are really thick. So we just prune them and they go back again. So like the DNA of these Bourbons are the really old ones. So they started changing the Bourbons into Catechic and Tequisic and other hybrids of Bourbon. But my dad kept the Bourbon Elites. They're a bit more susceptible to rust and diseases, but like if you take care of them, they're really tasty coffees.
And with the trees being so old, is there a drop in yield? Obviously, the quality is still fantastic, but I'm just
Yeah,
curious to know if the older trees are less producing less fruit.
yeah, that's a good question. So they have been producing a bit less than previous years, but it's been really consistent in the past 5 years. What I've been checking. So yeah, yield drop a little bit, but quality keeps getting a bit better or just like the same every year. So they're really resilient, really confident trees. So that's really cool.
So obviously the Bourbon Elite and the Pacamara are, maybe we'll call them the OG varietals on Los Pirineos. Are
Yeah.
there any newer varietals you're excited about at the moment?
So at the moment, I'm in love with Sultan Rome. Sultan Rome is my favorite coffee. It's just such an amazing variety. I tell this to everybody I meet in coffee world. I hope one day you come in and see us, because you need to try the cherry. The cherry has, in my opinion, the best mucilage flavor ever. It just tastes like papaya, melon. It has a really tropical flavor to it, and it's just mind blowing that the coffee cherries can taste like that.
I definitely want to come and spend some time with you on the farm next year if
Yeah.
possible.
Yes.
Would be awesome. And I really hope that we'll get to share some of the Sudan Rame with our customers next year.
Yes.
I'm sure it's in high demand.
It is. It's funny because I call it, I need to split the pie, like give a piece of the pie to everybody. So here's one bag for you, one bag for you. It's funny because it's such a high.
We've got you on record now. You know, available to the public that Bluebird Coffee Roastery will have some Sudan Rame next year.
What have I done to
my? Exactly.
Yeah, such a great coffee, and hopefully you can get it next year. I've been trying in different profiles and processing methods, but so far the best one has been washed and black honey. Those two, oh my god, like just mind blowing coffees. It's like a geisha floral style coffee, but then you get like a spicy notes to it, like some like ginger, some black pepper. It's a really fascinating profile.
Sounds amazing. I can't wait to taste it. We've been working with quite a few different Sudan Rames in the last probably 18 months. And Fani actually competed with a Sudan Rame from Immaculata at our national competition earlier this year. Absolutely beautiful coffee. So we're a fan of the varietal and we're a fan of your farm. So I can't wait to taste the two together.
Yeah, it's perfect, right? And then like my dad was really, I guess it was really genius from him that he tried a lot of like African varieties at the farm, and luckily they I guess they adapted pretty well to the soil and the climates, because we have the SO28, Sudan Rome, I mean Geisha as well, Pink Bourbon, which he got it from Colombia. So it's really cool to see how varieties can adapt to a terroir, but then they can develop different profiles. So I'm pretty sure the one from the Immaculada is probably way different from us. So that's really cool that even though it's in coffee, it just tastes way differently.
I was hoping that you would say that you've planted some SL28, because that is without doubt my favorite varietal at the moment.
Yeah.
We get a lot of SL28 from Costa Rica, from Volcan Azul, and it's always a favorite every year. You know, I have many conversations with people about the fact that perhaps the best SL28s in the world are actually grown outside of Africa at the moment.
Yes.
It just translates so well in Central America.
Yeah. But do you think it's because of the soil and the practices, or because of the selection of seeds? Because what I've been seeing a lot from coffee from Africa, they're a bit mixed with the Batian Ruru 11. So do you think that plays against it, or is it the soil?
I think it's the mixing of varietals. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. You know, the profile of Kenyan coffee is, you know, shifting over time. This year's crop, the coffees that we've chosen, we've worked with the same factories now for 4 seasons. And the coffees are a lot more red fruit focused and a little bit less purple, a little bit less blackberry and blackcurrant.
Yeah.
A little bit more cherry, rosehip, rhubarb. Still delicious, still juicy, still very, very sweet, and we're absolutely loving them. But there does definitely seem to be a shift happening. I think that, you know, portions of people's plantations, because obviously the difference in, you know, a place like Kenya is that you'll have hundreds, if not thousands, of individual farmers contributing towards these lots. Whereas Los Pirineos is one farm, one farmer, all the decisions are being made by you. It's a very, very different thing. So you end up with a much cleaner, more traceable coffee than you would have when it's a smallholder situation.
And that's a big part of quality and flavor and profile and cup consistency. I call it lot traceability. Like how can you manage your lots and and the overall cleanness of your varieties, because if not, you get a big mix of things and you can get lost into in the profile. So that's really important for a farmer to do.
What does the future of Los Pirineos look like? What is the, I mean, if you had to define the impact or the stamp that you want to leave on the farm when you're done with your career, what are you excited about?
Ooh, it's a good question. I think right now I'm really focused on betting more on Pacamars and Bourbons. I feel like they are such a big backbone of our farm and the in the overall Salvadoran coffee community. So I want to really keep betting on those. I don't really want to keep putting more different like coffees, because I don't think it's a time to keep like taking big leaps of faith. So right now, I want to grow on Bourbon Pacamar, and I guess officially I can say it on the podcast. I'm going to start building a coffee tourism hotel at the farm.
That's very exciting and a whole new project.
Yes, yeah. So that's project coming on. So because my mother, she's gonna retire very soon, so I want her to come in and help me, and I want her to manage the hotel. So I want to engage more like in eco coffee tourism on the farm, because it's the farm itself has such a beautiful views. It's such a paradise. I really want to get to have people to experience that nature, sunrise, sunsets, coffee cupping sessions, hikes, runs to the farm, and the overall tour. So that's going to be something I'm really looking forward to it.
The views from your farmhouse are legendary.
Yes, I think legendary is the correct word. Legendary. So thinking about like different ways of bringing like income to the farm, like adding more value to the brand of farm. I feel like doing like a really nice boutique ecotourism hotel for coffee would be like a great project, and a really fun project as well. So that's
Absolutely.
yeah. So I'm really hoping to get going that probably next year, hopefully.
Amazing, man. I've just built out our new roasting space. We spent a year designing and then about 6 months building, and it was extremely fulfilling to see a vision come, to fruition and to have this physical building coming out the ground in front.
Yeah.
It's very different to anything I've ever done before.
Yeah, it's fun, right, to hear your project come to life. Because I was asked, I think like I mean this year, probably like 5 months ago, like what's going to be my. I mean, I guess I asked myself also like what's going to be my thing, and as you said, what's my stamp, and I think this project will be like a really cool way of starting like a new chapter for Los Pirineos. I don't know, it would be cool for like bring tourists, local people from here, and even coffee buyers, like anybody who's coffee uh, aficionado would be perfect to stay at the farm with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And El Salvador is just such a beautiful country. I mean, for those of you who haven't visited, I had the privilege of spending a short amount of in country earlier this year, and I can't wait to explore a heck of a lot more. But from ecotourism and the coffee side of things, all the way to your incredible beaches
Yeah,
and the food and
for
culture is just amazing.
yeah. If you like to surf, El Salvador, no bias, but like it's probably one of the best countries to come and surf.
I can't wait to spend some time. I didn't get to surf on this first trip, but I can't wait to spend some time surfing up and down your coastline, hopefully
Yeah.
next year. Diego, outside of coffee, you've got a lot going on from sports and music, and you obviously pursuing your masters. Outside of the family business, what excites you at the moment? What are you most looking forward to for the future?
I think sport wise, I I've been I've been in sports almost all of my life, like nonstop. But like the last 3 years, I think I've gotten really into it a bit more. So I'm really excited to see where this like my sports life is going to, because I've been improving a lot and really fast. Like it's scary. Like I mean, I have a really good coach and a really good team. So I'm really excited to see where sports thing is going, and I've been really excited to that I get to travel also with sports. So I'm looking forward to engaging more in sports activities and getting better each day.
Yeah, I wish you all the best on the sports front, and I think the one thing that you're doing, which is going to become a challenge for you, is that you are definitely becoming the most eligible man in coffee. You know,
It's
you got sport, you got music, you've got the business, you've got everything going for you, man. How are you coping with that pressure?
it's a lot of pressure.
I think you're in an amazing position in your life, and I really take my hat off to you for stepping up and coming back to the farm and just taking on this massive responsibility and doing it with what looks like the greatest of ease. I'm sure it hasn't been easy, but it looks like you're doing an amazing job from the outside. So well done.
Thank you, Dario. Thank you so much. Yeah, it hasn't been easy at all, but I came up with this phrase, and I've been trying to stick with it. It's learning how to be in peace, or learning how to be calm within the storm. You know, I feel like that's what we all need to like learn to control, be at peace within the storm, or within the chaos. I think that's really important nowadays in this current global climate.
I think so many people will relate to that. I certainly do.
Yeah.
Yeah, to wrap up today's chat, I just want to say thank you very much for trusting us with your coffee. I know it's early in the relationship, and I hope that next year we're going to be able to bring a lot more of your coffee to South Africa.
That's really awesome. Yeah, and I'm really happy I got to know you. Really happy that Jordan introduced us PRF this year, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, I feel it's going to be it's started a really nice friendship as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate the friendship. And as young people in the coffee business, we are a part of the next chapter, and we get to script to a certain extent, you know, what the coffee industry is going to look like in the future, especially in our niche of the high end, you know, quality side of things. And it's great to be partnering with people who share values and share interests. And we're not just in business, we can actually be friends, which I think is fantastic.
yeah, exactly. My dad says that coffee is the business of friends. So
I love that.
yeah,
I love that. Well, Diego, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that our listeners will enjoy listening to this and to get to know your story better. Where can people follow along? Where can they find your story online?
you can follow story mostly on Instagram at Los Pirineos Coffee, and on my Instagram at Diego.Baraona.
Fantastic. I'll put links to both in the description of this podcast. And if you are listening into this story and you haven't already started following Diego, I'd highly, highly recommend it. You will be inspired to get off the couch and go and run and ride and swim, as well as get exposed to a whole world of coffee in El Salvador, which we
Yes,
absolutely love.
yes, and hope to see you all soon. You're welcome to Pirineos anytime. Just let me know and we can set it up.
Amazing, amazing. Diego, thank you for your time. And yeah, looking forward to speaking again soon.
Thank you.
All
Cheers.
right.
Bye.
Cheers, Diego. Ciao. Ciao, my friend. Thanks very much for joining us for episode 2 of this new project of ours. If you enjoyed it, please 5-star this podcast, share it with your friends, do all the things you know to do, and we'll see you in the next one. Ciao.